Yeah, it's the same meeting. It's just a reminder. I can just close it. I remove it. Yeah. You see, the problem is, okay, let me just mute myself. I muted it so that you and I can talk. Let me just check with one of my colleagues. Hi, Adam. Adam?
Yes, Eddie, I'm here.
Oh, okay. No, I wanted to check. No, they fixed the system.
Okay.
I could not hear you guys.
That's fine.
All right.
Okay, proceed.
Can you count the members? You know, I just admitted them because I was busy. Can you count how many members do we have?
Yes.
So that we know that whether we should have 6 members and then we can start with the meeting.
Yes. 4, 5, 6.
Okay, if there are 6, it's fine.
We have 6, yes.
All right, okay. I'm just recording now.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, members.
Morning, Bra Eddie.
Morning, Eddie.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm sorry we started a little bit late. Morning. We started a little bit late today because I had technical. Anyway, it's about 3 minutes past now, past 9 o'clock. We are going to start by making sure that we elect the acting chairperson. The chairperson is still on leave, and then we're going to use Rule 159, wherein if the chairperson is not available, and then we need to elect an acting chairperson. The procedure will be that if there are one nomination, and then it means that person will be duly elected the acting chairperson. If there are 2, it means the committee will have to vote by show of hands. Then the person with the most votes will be duly elected the acting chairperson. So I would like to call nomination from the members from the floor. Any member who want to nominate acting chairperson?
Eddie, I've had my hand up.
Oh, okay. Mr. Pillay, who are you nominating?
I wish to nominate the Honorable Musa Chabane.
Mr. Musa Chabane has been nominated. Any seconder?
Lekwasa seconds, Bra Eddie.
Melekwasa seconded. Any other nomination? No other nomination. So, Mr. Chabane, you have duly elected the acting chairperson for this meeting today. Can you please take over?
No, thanks, Mr. Matonsi, and your apology has been noted. Greetings to honorable members. Greetings to the minister and his delegation. Greetings to all officials of the Portfolio Committee and the Department of Home Affairs, and our media colleagues. Thanks very much, Mr. Matonsi. We've noted the difficulties you faced. Members, we just from the oversight at Government Printing Works, once more want to thank you for the commitment of conducting the oversight at Government Printing Works and the issues that arise there. And once the report will be tabled to the committee, we'll able to take forward. And want to extend also our appreciation to the minister and the DG and the team of the Deputy Minister for being with us the entire oversight day to interact both with the executive of the GPW and the labor. And I want to take that appreciation to the team. We're going to request Bra Eddie to fly the program, the agenda of today, so that we go through it and we're able to have a note of the issues that we're going to deal with. We're aware that there are currently mini plenaries that are running, and in the afternoon there's a house sitting at 2 o'clock. And so, as Mr. Matonzi has indicated, that we need to frame our focus in terms of the time allocated so that we're exhausting the issues that are going to be discussed by this portfolio committee. Mr. Matonzi? Yeah, thank you. That is our agenda for today. We'll immediately run to the agenda. We're going to receive the report brief as been indicated on item 4, and members will interact with the report. We'll then get into the item number 7 on the consideration of the remuneration for commissioners, and then members will deal with that item, and then we'll adjourn the meeting. May I invite you, Mr. Matonzi, to render the item number 2. Thank you. Sorry, number 3. Yes, number 3. Mr. Matonzi? Adams?
Yes, sir. It sounds like Eddie's sound is having challenges again.
Okay. Can establish apologies, which can I check with members? There's one apology which has been read already for Advocate Bongo on his absence. There's an apology of Honorable Mudise. I'm informed that she will join late, or she will leave early due to her preparation for a debate this afternoon. Can I establish an apology from Eddie? Are you back?
Okay, Chairperson?
Yes, we're on
Yes, I'm
apologies.
back.
Yes, we're on apologies. Thank you, Mr. Matonzi.
Yeah, I was saying the apology is that of the chairperson, and there's no other apology from my side that I've received.
Okay. Thank you. We'll record the apology of Advocate Bongo, Thomas, and Honorable Mudise. Is there any apology that we must render from members? None. Apology, can I check with the minister if there's any apology?
No, Chair, but there's an introduction which I will do when I start speaking.
Okay. Thank you very much, members. We are going to now run to the item of presentation on Home Affairs, and I will invite Minister Mzwaledi and also with his delegation to present the second and the third 2020-2021 financial year performance report. Minister.
Thank you very much, Chairperson and members, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Chairperson, as I said, usually when we make presentation, the DG will introduce his delegation, but I thought I'll take this opportunity to introduce to honorable members of the committee a new acquisition in the Department of Home Affairs. The cabinet has finally approved the appointment of Advocate Connie Moise as the DDG responsible for anti-corruption, Advocate Moitse was the head of organized crime in the police force. She's a policewoman by profession. She was the head of organized crime, and in 2007, she came to Home Affairs, having obtained her LLB degrees. When she was with Home Affairs, she obtained her LLM and her MBA degrees with the department, and so she is going to head this unit that must deal with corruption. I am specifically doing it because I know members are very worried, and they raised the issue many times about the anti-corruption unit in Home Affairs, and we are starting to build it up by it having a head. So that's Advocate Connie Moitse. Thank you very much, Chairperson. The presentation we're going to make, as you know, Chairperson, is a little bit belated because it's historical. We are going to give you a second and third quarter report, which happened during various stages of the lockdown. I am saying so because quite a number of things will have varied in our performance because of the lockdown, lock level 4, lock level 5, etc., etc. But it also happened at the time when we were experiencing very severe budget cuts, and we have to shift money all around to try and balance things. So it's going to be a presentation that is characterized by 3 things. Number one, it happened a long time ago, and some of the things we are presenting will have changed now because it's Q4. But number 2 is characterized by lockdown levels where some services could not be provided. But number 3, it coincided with severe budget cuts, but I will allow the DG to take over. Thank you, Director General. If you don't mind, maybe I'm not interfering with your chairpersonship because I've introduced Advocate Moitse. Maybe she can just show her face for honorable members to see her. If you don't mind, Chairperson, please, I apologize in advance.
No, thanks, Minister. And congratulations, Advocate Connie Moise. I hope you are requested just to, great. I'm sure members will appreciate your gesture.
Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, honorable members.
Morning.
Morning,
ma'am.
Morning, ma'am. I think she'll show the face when she responds, Minister. I think she's reserving that. I'm just assuming. DG, can we carry on? Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, Minister and Deputy Minister. Let me start by introducing the delegation from our side. DDG Tulani Mavuso, who's responsible for institutional planning and support, will lead in the presentation. We also joined by DDG for HR, Mengidi Mwaboko, the CFO, Mr. Gordon Holambi, DDG for Civics, Mr. Thomas Sigama, DDG, my case currently on leave, but Mr. Mandla Madumise is acting on his behalf. I think the Minister has introduced the DDG responsible for counter-corruption, Advocate Moitse. And then there's the Acting Commissioner for the BMA, Mr. Jean Ravere, Sitlem Chiane, responsible for strategy, Mozi Njoko, Sia Toza in the ministry, and then Mudupi, Eswer Mduli, and then Sam Manduana. I'll then request DDG Mavuso to take the committee through this presentation, and then later on through you, Chair, if the CFO can then provide our expenditure in terms of the budget for both Q2 and 3. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mavuso.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'm assuming the presentation is visible.
Yes, Mr. Mavuso.
Okay, thank you very much. Chairperson, I think as the Minister has indicated that we are presenting Q2 and Q3. Normally we present Q2 during Q3 and then Q3 report during Q4. But these presentations are taking place after the financial year has ended. So therefore we're going to just run quickly within them because we have already completed the financial year. So this report just deals with the performance report and the budget expenditure for the period under review. This slide just deals with vision, mission, and value statement of the department. This one deals with the mandate. I think members are familiar with that, and also the DHA outcomes. I'll go straight to the performance in the 2 quarters. Chairperson, we had an annual target where we had to roll out the biometric movement control systems in 4 airports. This was Lanseria, Cape Town, King Shaka, and OR Tambo. We had wanted to have at least 70% of the counters, both at departure and arrivals, to be installed with the new BMCS instead, and as we replace the EMCS. In Q2, we had to do the upgrade of data lines and also do the procurement of equipment. But obviously, Q2 began on the 1st of July. It was during the hard lockdown, so there were issues relating to procurement during that period. But also in Q3, we had to appoint a service provider through our subcontractor agreement with Kijima. But during that particular time, we could not finalize that. So in the 2 quarters, some of these activities that were not achieved. So obviously, we state the reasons for the non-achievement of both the 2 quarters in relation to this particular target of rolling out the biometric movement control system at the airport. And then the next target, obviously, the next slide still talk to the same issue. So basically, the next slide just deals with what are the corrective actions that we were going to take at that time, which we had already taken in order for us to mitigate this particular one of which was to engage the service providers around the Windows 7 desktop and also facilities management to deal with the issue of this. At the airport, we had a challenge. Let me just go back to the previous slide, Chairperson, so that I can explain that. At the airport, what happened is that AXA, if you look at bullet 2 and the reason for non-achievement on economics, AXA had implemented the glass shields at the counters to protect the staff when passengers arrive. So unfortunately, how they placed that, it was in such a way that the fingerprint scanner could not fit in there. So we have had to get the team from our facilities to work with the AXA team to resolve that particular issue. So that matter was resolved during Q3. So I thought I should just explain that what it meant in terms of the corrective measures. But also the ports had to be upgraded to 10 meg lines because the majority of them were under 2 meg lines. So basically that's what happened in Q3 around the biometric movement control system. If I move to the next slide, then the next slide talks to the e-visa. We're supposed to do the integration with the advanced passenger processing. So that was completed. The integration was completed in Q3. So the e-visa is now able to communicate with the APP and also exchanging flight information on the biometric movement control system. Chairperson, this is made so that when a person arrives at the airport, when they are scanning his information on biometric movement control system, his e-visa can then appear on the screen so that the official can be able to validate that. So that has been completed and ready to work. Then the third issue, Chairperson, is around the service provider that you needed to contract to develop an asylum seeker and refugee system. So currently we've got a system called a National Immigration Identity System, which is NIIS, which we are utilizing alongside with Hannes to capture the information of the asylum seekers and the refugees and that information, obviously, we collect biometrics and then we push them into harness. So what we had wanted to do is that these systems into the live capture system to get a new service provider. Chairperson, you'll recall that most of the work that we were doing on modernization, we were utilizing service providers that came with the MOU or MOA that we have with SARS. So now, obviously, with the period between ourselves and SARS ending, so the service provider was saying, I can't take new development work because the contract is coming to an end. So we needed to go to the market so that we can get a new service provider to complete that development. Because if you look at the modernization scope, what is outstanding is this asylum seeker refugee system or module, and then obviously the national identity system, and then the last one is the trusted traveler system. So that's a reason why we needed to have a service provider. What we then did, we wrote to SITA last year and said, SITA, can we then request that we do this work ourselves so that we don't have to go through you to be able to get this, because it's mandatory service of SITA in terms of the legislation. SITA made it very clear in a written letter, they declined our request and said that develop a specification on our template, give it to us, and then we're able to move forward. So that's what transpired in Q2. And then in Q3, we're supposed to have advertised that, but it delayed. So the bid spec was the later than advertised during the third quarter, and with the closing date of December 11. And then there was an extension that was done in January on that particular bid. So that's what happened in relation to these 2 quarters on us getting the service provider to complete that module. Then the next one, Chairperson, was around the concept document, including the development of an implementation and project plan on what we refer to as a service delivery model, which needed to be approved at the level of the DG. So basically, we did not achieve in these 2 quarters this particular concept development of concept document. But subsequent to that, in the fourth quarter, we're able to achieve that particular target. But basically, that's the reason why we did not achieve, is that there were certain delays around time constraints as a result of availability of people or during that particular period, particularly in Q1, Q2. So there's a lot of work was not able to move forward. And then we also talk about corrective actions to say the tender specification for development of service delivery model needed to be presented to the PAC, and then also that the tender development of services needed to be advertised. So all those were done in Q3 in terms of submission then in that regard. Thank you. Then the next target was the revised access model, which needed to be approved by the Minister. Chairperson, as a department, we develop what we call an access model. We do a geographic accessibility study, looking at, for an example, the distance between communities and the next available services of Home Affairs. You look at the population density and all those things. So that study does that. So we had appointed CSIR to do that work. So we we achieved that in Q2 because CSIR submitted the report to us. So in September, so that particular target was achieved insofar as the development of the geographic accessibility study and the GHA access model. So we needed then in the third quarter to ensure that the DG then approves that particular study, but obviously it did not happen in Q2. It only happened in Q4. And then in that target, obviously in the annual target ended up being achieved. But for that quarter, the target had not been achieved. And obviously we stated the reason that before such a target could be, find key stakeholders. Also, there were a number of